The atmosphere in the dormitory was electric. There was over 200 students, all embarking on a similar adventure. Leaving home, out on their own, pursuing hopes and dreams. This was freshman move-in day. My roommate and I became instant best friends. We decided to put ourselves out there, and on that first day, we went door to door and floor to floor, introducing ourselves and getting to meet our new classmates. There was one boy that stood out to both of us. He was staying in a single room by choice, and he was really quiet, kept to himself. He was like the perfect combination of angry and sad. We were determined and actually made it our mission that we would break through his tough shell. If we could just get him to smile, it would be a promising beginning. The smile eventually came, and in a few months, we even started to see a little bit of who he really was to emerge. You see, when he was 16 years old, his father died. His mother became an alcoholic, and his sister moved away to college. So he was hurting, and he was alone. My roommate and I and some of our new friends rallied around this young man and showed him love and gave him friendship with no strings attached. No judgments, no requirements, just real love. This love did break through that hard shell, and although our new friend wasn't yet healed up from the traumatic events that happened in the past few years, now he felt like there was a little bit of hope. Love gives hope. It's said that love conquers all. Not that ooey gooey kind of love, but real love. Real love is selfless. It requires nothing in return. Real love actually draws out destiny in others. Love may not change actual circumstances, but it will change the lens through which we see things. In the Bible, John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends." Now that can talk about an actual physical death, a laying down of life, but it also talks about a dying to yourself. I've watched as love has been given away, and I've watched as love has been received. I've watched as love has saved those who have received love, and I've watched as love has saved those who have given it away. Love truly does conquer. The boy that I told you about, Brian, he did the best that he could at life with what he had. He had some relationships, although they weren't really deep, and he still felt empty inside and emotionless yet depressed. There were still holes in his heart from what happened in his teenage years. But then one day, when he was in his early 20s, Brian had a spiritual encounter. This very real experience gave him strong faith and a new life in Jesus Christ. The love that Brian experienced actually transformed him. It was like he stepped into who he was created to be. His circumstances hadn't changed. The things that happened in his life in the past had still happened in the past. But now he was seeing things differently. He was looking forward rather than looking back. He was looking at other people's needs rather than looking at just his own needs. You know what he was doing? He was looking with love. Brian was thriving as he imparted into people's lives on a daily basis. He still battled depression from time to time, but he kept going and kept his eyes on love. Now, many years later, there was a shift, and there was just this downward spiral. Brian was overwhelmed with depression and fear, so much so that he actually left his job. He dropped relationships, and he lost all hope. He could have stayed there. He could have been justified and forever labeled as mentally ill. It was that bad. But remember love? Real love? Well, when he was finally able to catch his breath, Brian decided to embrace love. Even if he wasn't feeling love, he had seen it, and he knew that it was the answer. So feelings aside, or should I say the lack of, he chose to lay his own stuff down and to pick up love. He gave it away every chance he could. He worked jobs that he was miserable at, but he did it because he knew that he had to support his family. He pushed himself out there and reconnected with friends, even though he felt inadequate at what he had to offer them. He committed to his wife and his 4 children to love them and to live for them. When his feelings didn't line up with truth and love, he still chose to embrace truth and love. Love changes you, both when you receive it and when you give it away. Real love, that is. This is my husband. This is the daddy of my 4 beautiful children. This is my best friend of 20 years. He has persevered. He has found strength in what others can offer him. He's found strength in what he can give away. He still has battles to fight, but the point is, he keeps fighting. He is determined, and not just to get on the other side of all of this, although that is a big part of it, but it's so that he can be his best in order that he's able to give away his best. Greater love has no one than this, that he lay down his life for his friends. My husband has inspired me to embrace love. He has demonstrated how to let love in so that it can transform a heart. He shows me daily how to release this same love in power so that it changes the lives that it ends up enveloping. My husband, Brian, is love.